About halfway through the year, we started a series that was entitled the Top 10 Metal/Rock Jerks of the Year. It actually boasted a different title at first, but, content violations and things like that, and hateful language, all that crap. So, we only did this for half a year, but I feel like there are some that will never be touched considering they are all-time great jerks. So, as a nice little send-off to this series, considering we didn't do one this year, I think it's time for us to go big. Time for us to go global. Now, this is a subjective list, mind you, so I know that I've missed plenty of stuff, and you're going to remind me of that in the comments below. But just know that I've enjoyed doing this throughout the years, and it's going to be fun doing this one more time. Here are the top 10 rock/metal jerks of all time, and we start with an honorable mention, and that's David DeSantis from Vector, simply because of what he did here in 2019. Again, similar to another list, who would have won this year had the list been made is the honorable mention. And this is just pathetic. It's horrible because now, whenever we consider and think about Vector, there's like an asterisk that appears in our brains, which is really weird. Simply because David, we got some footage that surfaced of some really, really bad abuse that was involving him and his wife. And then I learned that this is something that's been going on for a long period of time, and nobody decided to report this motherfucker. What the hell? I mean, I understand that we got terminal redux from this band, and based around the timeline that I've been told, this would have actually caused that album to maybe not happen. I mean, sure, I'm glad to have the album, I guess, but at the expense of this woman's mentality and the expense of this woman's, emotional ability, not really. That's not something that's okay. Bad, David, bad. Number 10 is Jared Threatin. I love this story, I really do. This was one that was recent. So Jared Threatin was in a band called Threatin, and he decided that he wanted to do a real big tour. He wouldn't do a real big tour, he wanted to get in some European venues. So he posted all these pictures and stuff and sent them the venues to show just how successful that his band was. Threatin. No one had heard of this band at this point, but whenever they saw these photos that he included, they were like, damn, they got some crowds, they got people, there's people there! Yeah, whenever he goes over there for the tour, there's no people anywhere. There's like four! He scammed them by using stock images and images of himself and the rest of his band, and did not show the band and crowd together in obvious conjunction to showcase that his band is great, whenever they weren't. They had absolutely no appeal, no draw, and the music itself, not great either. Wow. This is almost actually, I'm more impressed than I am upset, but it does set a really negative precedent, and also showcases a brilliant warning that you always need to check your sources, and that the internet is going to give some groups the ability to try to fudge their numbers, just like a banker fudges the numbers to a big ticket company. Number 9 is Robb Flynn. His childish tirades over the past couple of years have truly become the stuff of legend, and it's something where it's knocked off names such as Corey Taylor or whatever, what does Corey Taylor think, off this list simply because these tirades have had a lot more negativity strewn about them instead of just being headline popping because Corey Taylor said something and he's in Slipknot. Oh my god, Slipknot's amazing! Oh fucking god! No, Robb Flynn instead, his childish antics prior to the release of Catharsis, but especially thereafter, was something else. And the album itself certainly did not aid in really churning any heads or changing any minds. It was, if anything, it turned them more so to the negative. I'm just going to leave it at this. Rob, I think you need a little break, or you need to talk to a couple people, like a sane, rational adult. Get it all out. Don't do it on a record. Please don't do it on a record. And just, we're worried about you. Number 8 is Jeff Tate. Oh my gosh, the first half of this decade was dominated by Jeff Tate whenever it came to the Queensryche controversy. Not to mention, Dedicated to Chaos being a really, really bad album to start off this decade, getting Worst Album of the Year in 2011. Would it get it retrospectively? We'll see eventually, I guess. I don't know. But then there was Frequency Unknown. There was the battle over the Queensryche name, the split whenever he was finally fired from the band and wanted to keep the name. The fact that in 2013 we got 2 Queensryche albums, one entitled Frequency Unknown from Jeff Tate and the other one just self-titled by the band with new vocalist Todd LaTorre. And what happened? Jeff Tate's was a big old shit show. It completely exposed that he was the problem with the band. Because with the remaining members and Todd LaTorre, they were able to write freely. Jeff Tate was the domineering overhead whenever it came came to the writing of Queensryche albums. It had to be to his liking as opposed to a collaborative, complete band effort. And as a result, the material throughout the 2000s and into the 2011s dedicated to Chaos suffered majorly. And then Frequency Unknown further exposed this negative fact. Thankfully, with Operation Mindcrime and his new band, the stuff has been a little bit better, but whenever he takes control a little too much, you can still see shreds of that old mentality. It's not that he's a bad songwriter, it's just that his side doesn't exactly gel the best with some of the people that he works with. And Jeff, whew, I'm glad things are better now, buddy, and I see that you're trying to bury the hatchet with Queensryche. Good on you. But man, the first half of this decade, I don't know what was wrong with you, but I'm glad that you're doing better. Number 7 is Gene Simmons. Here's a guy I never hope does better, because this rich cocksucker simply believes that his 1% status means that he is the most important individual on Earth. He tries to trademark the heavy metal symbol. Need I say more? That's really just stupid. And then he opens his mouth whenever anything comes to, to surface or to light. It's not been so bad over the past couple of years, thankfully, but still, this gentleman has the rich person mentality. That he is the 1%er, and that the people should want to pay exorbitant prices just to be in his presence. Like $50,000! Are you freaking nuts? Just for some Kiss stuff? And to hang out with you and have you tell me that you're my buddy? You're my buddy? Yeah, my ass that you're my buddy. Call me on my birthday, buddy. Call me whenever I'm doing bad and I have to post something on Facebook because I'm all sad. Be my buddy then. Be my buddy whenever I'm in jail and I need bailed out. Be my buddy then. Buddy Gene ain't your buddy. Buddy Gene thinks only for himself and only for the almighty De Niro. He's ridiculous. Number 6 is Varg in early black metal. This is really the only one that is historical that's on this list, if you can believe that. I guess I just really like thinking in more current terms. But Varg and the early black metal practitioners were trying to outdouche one another whenever it came to some of the stupidity that they were all about. And I'm not saying that black metal itself was stupid, but the culture that it spawned, this evil ideal, something that they took so incredibly serious, which was great for the music because the music then had a realism and a feeling of genuinity behind it, which is why black metal got over, why black metal found a fan base and became an actual scene. But whenever it came to outside of black metal, this caused numerous crimes. This caused a whole boatload of trouble, not to mention, once again, shine the light negatively on the heavy metal genre. We had church burnings, we had murders of folks from the LGBT community. And that's just scratching the surface. That's just going with some of the more obvious things that have been beaten to death or were perhaps mentioned in a documentary or something like that. There were myriads of things that were taking place as these individuals were trying to outdo one another, and there was internal combustion that eventually led to the black metal scenes kind of dispersing and going their own way. There were numerous members that went to prison. There were numerous that ended up dead or committing suicide in later years. This was a scene that was heavy metal at its perhaps most ugly and most real, which is a combination that for heavy metal means that black metal has the trademark support that it does and some of the memes that go around with it. But this is still something that was insanely overdone. We have number 5 with Tim Lambestis of As I Lay Dying. I almost said Tim Lambrestis because of the memes, but this is something where he decided that he was going to hire a hitman to kill his wife. And that hitman ended up being a policeman, and Tim goes to jail. Now, Tim is out of jail in 2019, and he just released a brand new record with As I Lay Dying, and the whole question is, should we be willing to support him or not? That is a question left up to you, yourself, and not me. However, this was insane, and I don't really see what could be so bad about the Mrs. Lambestis. I can't imagine that the Mrs. Lambestis is sleeping with a gym teacher and, is going around stealing melons and then paying for him on his credit card whenever she gets caught and goes to jail. I don't think she's got 15 DUIs and slays little baby, deer and tries to hang them on the Christmas tree. I think Mrs. Lambestis is probably just a fine woman, so why do you want to kill her? And plus, how stupid can you be to openly talk to somebody about this and obviously it's a cop? I understand that, no way he could know. And I understand that he's an easy punching bag and this should be a time of his recovery, considering that's why he's not, higher up on the list, actually. He's not higher up on the list because it does seem like the death of society thing that we always hear about actually held with Tim. And that was after he had some funny things happen in prison that did not seem very good. It seemed like it was actually causing him a little bit of harm. So Tim, it looks like, learned his lesson. We'll see, but for now, he's number 5. Number 4 is Hallie Etty. Don't know the name? Well, you probably didn't know it a couple of years ago either, whenever she was number 1 on this very list. She was in a band called Counterfeit. It was a group from Erie, Pennsylvania, and Hallie Etty told everybody in a very sad message that she had cancer and that there was a GoFundMe and she wanted to hope to solicit some donations from some folks in order to help combat this. She wanted $3,000 to help fight her cancer and then stole the money because she doesn't actually have cancer. Yeah. Now, from a moralist perspective, this is despicable. From a moralist perspective of somebody who has seen multiple family members and friends die from cancer, this is abominable. It's the type of thing that makes you wonder why things happen to people and why they seem to happen to good people as opposed to pieces of shit like this. I hope you learned your lesson. I hope you went to prison for this. I didn't follow up on this because I don't care that much about your dumb ass. I just care enough to rip into you for the stupid crap that you tried to pull. This is an absolute insult. We've raised money on this channel for the charity of cancer. This is something where everybody knows somebody that's no doubt had cancer. The fact that you're trying to scare, you know what? Fuck you. Just fuck you. How about this? Whenever you get out of jail or wherever you're at right now, if you're watching this video, PayPal me $10,000. I need a heart. It hurts really bad. Number 3 is child porn, people. What happened to metal the last couple years where we determined that folks from Incantation and Manowar and others have all this child porn? Children are our friends. They are not meant to be that kind of friend, though. You're not supposed to take pictures of them whenever they're in next to nothing unless they're yours. And even then, you might want to think twice about posting. What has gone wrong with this? What? And I say this not just because it's a heavy metal thing, but within my own area, child porn everywhere. Every area, it seems child porn everywhere. How are these people getting away with it before? Why has this all of a sudden become a great crusade? And I say great because what the fuck? What the hell? I think that's all I need to say. This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna put it to you like this. If you're in a band, even if your band is fans with like 5 people, and you have child porn on your computer, get rid of it. Repent! Repent, goddammit! That was not repenting. Oh boy. Number 2, Davey Vanity. This has been a saga throughout the entirety of this decade. Davey Vanity, of course, of Blood on the Dance Floor, has gotten his young fans into his, little bus or to his home. He befriends them, he makes them feel all good, it makes them feel all nice, and then he whips out his dick and wants them to suck it. Yeah, this video ain't getting monetized, baby. This is Davey Vanity's MO. This is what he does. And then he denies it, then he decries it, then he has people on the side. He is another child predator. Should he be at number 3 too? No, he gets a special gold star and douchebaggery because this guy, somehow, someway, is still walking among us despite so many reports of all these things happening. Wake up! If there's justice in this world, 2020 will begin with the FBI pounding on Davey Vanity's door, whether that's a van down by the river or a mansion in Beverly Hills, and takes him to a place where he becomes the plaything. Number 1, though, is Ian Watkins. And I don't know if I have the energy to adequately give Ian Watkins the verbal tongue lashing that he so desperately deserves once again. Because for all of these things that we've talked about that are kid-related, child-related, what does he do? He sexually abuses infants! Babies! Are you fucking me? Hopefully not. This was a new high, or a new low, or a new something. Ian Watkins of Lost Prophets, in case you didn't know, the rooftops folks, also had fans that believed this was bullshit. And then the topper was grooming women to do this to their own children in prison. No! Bad! All privilege is taken away. Put him in solitary, or you know what? Just rob usually a purveyor of the death penalty. I'm really not. But you caught him, and you threw him in jail, and now he's grooming other people to do exactly what he did. I know, Nemo. It's terrible, isn't it? That's it. 1 strike, 2 strikes, you're out in this one. Screw you. Screw everything about you. This might be the one person. No, there's not the one person. There's plenty on this list that I legitimately hate. I legitimately wish harm on them. Okay, maybe not that far. That's bad for karma. But Ian Watkins, rot in hell. There's our list. I know we missed plenty of people. Talk about them in the comments below. My name is coverkillernation, and yeah. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.